It's a wet day. I'm headed out to go pick up Mark, and we're going to go ride the Redneck Ramble this weekend in Bowie, Texas. And drove down to San Marcos and loaded up Mark's brand new Yamaha Tenere 700. And Mark says he's so happy that I'm taking him to the rally. He's going to let me ride his bike all weekend. And it's just been raining the whole time. A little bit of flooding, huh?
Deluge.
Made it to the hotel finally after 6 hours of rain. Salud!
Salud!
We got a slow start on Saturday morning, kind of waiting for some of the roads to dry out from the rain the day before. Headed over to the Longhorn Cafe next to the hotel. They had a buffet, which we enjoyed. And then we took off to ride Robert Lee's planned 85-mile route that went south and west of Bowie. It was easy dirt roads at first, and then we have some two-track, as you can see here. It's pretty, it's spring, the trees are green, and it was nice riding. We had an enjoyable Saturday afternoon out riding. And notice that the roads are relatively dry. We ran into a few mud puddles and a few wet spots, but I'd say 98% of the road was just like you see here. There were other riders out and about as we were out enjoying the day, but overall it's a good Saturday afternoon. Enjoyed the ride. This was the biggest wet spot that we encountered all day long. No problem. Back in town, there were riders everywhere. Saturday night banquet at the Bowie Community Center. We are headed in for our banquet inside the hall. WR250, big old BMW GS. The mighty Honda Africa Twin. Older R1200 GS. Another superb Africa Twin. It's a really old KLR. An XT250. That's a girl's bike. WR250. Ooh. Second generation KLR. Look, it's a Triumph Scrambler.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's a 1200. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen one of the big ones. Yeah. Cool bike. Steve McQueen's going to come out here and ride that thing in a minute. KLR. This is a, what year model did you say this bike was? 1990 Kawasaki KLR Tenga with a fairing and everything. And then second generation KLR. Do not wash. This vehicle is undergoing a scientific dirt test.
Are you Mitch? You're not Mitch, correct?
Mark.
Mark.
This is Richard.
I'm Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Did you ride the 85-mile ride? Was it any good? Good territory. Good looking, wasn't it?
We had barbecue for dinner. We had barbecue, sausage, beans, potato salad, all the fixings. The catering company did a great job. I'd say there's about 200 riders attending the banquet. Overall, it was a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. After the banquet, we hung out in the parking lot of the hotel, drinking beer, telling stories, and getting ready for our next day's ride. Sunday's ride was a 135-mile long mix of pavement and dirt running northeast of Bowie. I was leading a group of 9 riders today, and the riding was very much like it had been the day before. Lots of easy dirt roads through the plains and through the trees. Sun was out, weather was beautiful. Again, the roads were a little bit wet, but nothing terrible. Very enjoyable riding. Enjoyed a brief stop in Nakona for gas and a snack, and then after that we continued on. This is where we ran into a bunch of other riders, and I realized at this point that I was going the opposite direction of the route, the way that Robert Lee had planned it. Oh well, no big deal. Just make sure you stay on your side of the road as you're driving along. This is the best section of the day. This is what they call the sand section. It was down by the Red River. There was a bypass, but we were all experienced riders, so we wanted to do that. So we ran through the sand section. Very, very fun. And then throughout the day, we would encounter other groups of riders heading the opposite direction, stopping for a break. It's springtime, and the flowers are out. So are the cattle. Got to be careful when you're going through the canal because they will spook, as you can see here. They get a little nervous when the bikes come through. A little bit more sand, more fun riding. This is the biggest water obstacle we encountered today. Again, no big deal. Easy to get around it. We rode for about 4.5 hours is what it took us to do the 135-mile section today. Ups and downs. You can see it's a little bit hilly, so there are elevation changes. Going through people's ranches. These are all public roads, so we weren't breaking into laws. You just got to be careful around the animals. We arrived back in Bowie about 12:30, and each of the riders split off at that point and headed home. Thank you, Robert Lee, for a great Redneck Ramble.